Hello and welcome along to our watch-along for the Manchester United game against Atletico de Madrid. Really looking forward to this one. If you are with us for the first time, welcome. If you're with us because you saw the first one that we did, welcome back. Essentially, we are doing a watch-along like your companion. We're your companion guide to watching the game. So if you're watching this game on Disney Plus, where it's available, we will be with you all the way through the game to try and make some sense of what's going on. Really excited to have alongside me exactly the same squad that we had last time. The brilliant Aoife Mannion and Lindsay Johnson as well, watching the game. And look, this is a huge opportunity for Manchester United to go back to back in terms of wins in the Champions League in their first ever 2 games, Aoife.
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity. United off the back of a really good win last week. So important to get that first win off the ground in his Champions League group stage game. Their first ever, no less. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this game is like tonight. And I think Atletico are going to come out much more than Valerenga did last week.
Yeah, I think we'll see a different game than we did last week. Obviously, the most important thing is you get your 3 points. First game, you get that off your back, and now you can go against a team which is totally different to Valerenga. You know, we won't. I doubt we're going to see tonight an Atletico Madrid side who are going to sit back and go into a low block. They're at home. They're an attacking side. They've got creative players. So I think we'll see a more open and an attacking game tonight than we did last week against Valerenga.
Yeah, really important as well. And it's something that their manager has spoken about, is keeping their identity and making sure that they do the things that Atletico Madrid do, rather than getting caught in the trap that almost everybody United has faced in the Champions League so far this season has fallen into. PSV, Hammarby, even Valerenga last week did exactly the same thing. Quite attacking teams in their leagues. And then they come up against the Manchester United side that wants to press high and strangle you, and all of a sudden, Aoife, you drop into this mid-block or a low block, and all of it, you've fallen into Manchester United's trap at that point. Yeah,
I think Man United, like you say, they've played teams that, albeit are doing really well domestically in their own league, come into playing European football against United, then just sit straight into a low block. Atletico actually played Barcelona at the weekend and got absolutely pummeled 6-0. And off the back of that, their players made comments and they said, look, we need to send a message to the fans. We need to be aggressive. We can't just give the game away. So I think if there's ever a time you don't want to play a team, it's when they've been really badly beaten. So I don't think we're going to see an Atletico that's going to really sit in tonight. And outside of that, they're a really good team anyway. So I'm looking forward to it.
Manchester United arriving a little bit earlier at Atletico Madrid Stadium, which has got the most incredibly long and unnecessary name. Have you spotted this already? Right, it's Atletico de Madrid Centro Deportivo Alcalá de Henares. Shall we just call it the Atletico ground? Just so we don't have to keep saying that all the way through this. That's probably wise. We're going to get the team news from Zara in just a sec. But United are going to want to do exactly as they've done in the previous games that they've had, aren't they? Where they are the ones that set the tempo, they're the ones that are in control. They continue to have the crazy possession that they managed to keep. I think the possession stats was something like 66% for United in that first game. They'd love to keep it the same way again, wouldn't they, Aoife?
I mean, they'd love to. Everyone would love to. I don't think that we're going to see that type of game tonight. But United really suit some of this possession-based football that they enjoy so far in Champions League. I don't think they'll get it tonight, but it's all about what they can do with it. If they can get Atletico into a low block, I think Atletico look really... You can tell it's not their identity. They conceded 4 goals from crosses whilst they're in a low block against Barcelona at the weekend. So, I mean, United will love it if they have that level of possession, because it will mean that Atletico have sat really deep. I just don't think that will be the case tonight.
And we saw it at the weekend when Manchester United women played Everton. The same thing happened. Everton went into a low block, and it did take United a while to break them down. So they can use that as a sort of training game if Atletico do that. I don't think they will do it. I think we'll see a more attacking formation from Atletico, but it's in the locker. I think both teams, what they've got is they're very good in their transitions, in and out of possession. So I think United are very good when they've not got the ball. They can bank up, they close their units, narrow the spaces for the teams to play, and I think Atletico will do the same thing. So I think we're going to see a very competitive game tonight.
I cannot wait to see exactly how this game's going to go. I tell you what, let's figure out exactly, shall we, who's playing who. Our woman on the ground, the brilliant Zara Connolly.
Thanks, guys. So your team news is in. So let's kick things off, starting with the starting lineup for Manchester United. So in between the sticks, we have Fallon Talise-Joyce. Onto our back line, we have Anna Sandberg in action on the left and Jade Riviere on the right. For our duo centrally, we have Captain Maya Letitia and Dominique Janssen. In the middle, we'll have the three of Ella Toon, Julia Zigiotti and Hinata Miyazawa. And in front, we have Melvine Mallard and Fridolina Rolfo, either side of Elizabeth Turland. And now on to our opposition, Atletico Madrid. They're going to be in a 4-3-3 formation. Starting in net for our opponents is Lola Gallardo. Then in a back four, we have Andrea Medina and Alexia Fernandez, either side of Lauren and Sylvia Larice. The middle three will be Fiamma, Gabriela Garcia and Vilda Boarisa, who we know so well. Then they have a front three of Cindy Jensen, Gio Gabellini and Luani. So that is your starting lineups for today's game. Back to you guys.
Oh, really?
Thank you very much indeed, Zara. That is the team news. Really interesting for Manchester United, and it's been picked up on by some of our commenters already on YouTube. If you want to join in the conversation, the only way to do that is by joining, by subscribing, by making sure you're a part of this Manchester United Women's YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed. From that point onwards, you can get involved. And actually, we're getting comments through already, which is really good. Reaper says, no Jess Park in the squad, let alone on the bench, just made this match against Atletico even more interesting and crucial to get a positive result. Well, Jess Park picked up a little bit of a knock in the dying stages of the game at the weekend. It's actually a concussion injury that keeps her out, and you can't be too careful in those situations. But it does make life interesting because she did change the game when she came on against Everton at the weekend. Jono, how important is that team selection for Mark Skinner in terms of the balance and playing that double pivot the way that he does when he's not entirely sure who's going to have the majority of the ball?
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, he's got the place to do it. He's blessed in that central midfield area. But what Jess Park offers, what you would argue maybe Miyazawa and Zigotti don't offer, is she likes to get forward. She has those really good late runs into the box. When she come on at the weekend against Everton, she really took the game by the scruff of the neck. She was dribbling at the players, breaking through lines, and she does that really well. But I think, you know, that midfield that we've got of Zigiotti and Miyazawa, they're very strong, and you'll see Miyazawa just sit and just pull the strings there, and Zigiotti will be allowed in a forward that time to get forward and join in with Tooney. Yeah,
really good. Mr. C, thank you very much for getting involved, as you did over the course of last week's watch along as well. Says, come on, girls, strong squad today, stay positive and take your chances. And I think that's quite crucial, isn't it? This Manchester United squad has so many different ways of setting up, different ways of playing, and the personnel, even the personnel on the bench for Manchester United are actually, they only make United stronger. And we get back to that conversation that we had last week about starters and finishers, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, twofold for United. The players that are on the pitch are in massive form. Like, who better to have on the pitch at the moment than Melvine Mallard? 5 goals in 6 WSL games. I think that sits her right at the top of the table on that. And then the players coming on from the bench. Leah Golton got into the squad for the first time, just back from a niggle. You've got Rach Williams.
Gets an assist.
Gets an assist. And so I see quality all over the pitch. I think that this team is in as good of a flow and form that I've ever seen them in the 4 years that I was there. So it's been a joy to watch, and like we're just looking at the screen now, even Lisa Knowlton comes on at the weekend. When you've asked me about before, I really describe her as like an engine and a box-to-box midfielder, but actually against Everton, she was playing some amazing split line passes just to cut straight through the defenders for the wingers to run onto. So across the whole squad, they've got incredible skill sets, and I'm just really looking forward to them putting on a show for us tonight and hopefully squashing Atletico.
We really enjoy making these watch-alongs. It would help us out hugely if you could just hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It's just underneath the video. It's one click, helps us out hugely. If you can give us a like on the video as well, and even click the bell icon, that would help us out hugely as well, just so we can prove to the bosses that this is the right thing to carry on doing. We are your companion as we go through this. There are a couple of names on the bench that maybe we'll talk about in a little moment, but we're getting so close to kick-off now that we should probably hear from Mark Skinner. Let's do that next, shall we? Here's Mark Skinner.
So Mark, we've arrived in Madrid.
Yeah.
You must be extremely excited for this one.
Very much so. We're playing a top team at their home venue, and I'm looking forward to how the players take on another European night. We were excellent our first one against Vålerenga, so I'm really looking forward to how we adapt, how we evolve. Can we take our game to the opponent, who we have a lot of respect for, but also we want to try and win the game. You know, it'd be perfect to start this campaign with 2 wins against 2, you know, very difficult opponents.
With it being so difficult, you've got to take the confidence that we did such a great job against Vålerenga. So to have that Champions League experience so close towards this fixture must be something that's in the minds of all the players.
For sure, and you remember, if you know anything about me, confidence comes from processes and practice and training effectively, and the players have done that throughout this first part of the year. Of this season, we've had lots of many different types of challenges, and another one we face tomorrow, but it's again an exciting one. Like, there's no point pretending that we're in Champions League and that you want to play poor teams. We're playing top teams, and we want to embrace that and really enjoy ourselves, and you know, I'm sure Julia spoke about that as well, but we as a team want to make sure we go out here and we grace it. We've got travelling fans who, you know, we want to put a show on for them. We want to promise them a European tour, and you know, this is what we're on, so we've got to give it our absolute all tomorrow to try and take the 3 points.
When we played against Vålerenga straight after the game, me and you discussed the fact that the previous score that Atletico Madrid have, you've had lots of time to look at that footage. How do you think it's best that we combat them?
Yeah, I think they're good on counter, so we have to be very concentrated when we're attacking. And if we leave ourselves wide open, then we are at the mercy of their counter-attacks. They're very good at them. They have obviously an old favourite of Manchester United with buildup, who can supply that. So we have to be very aware of that as well. So we have to be concentrated, but also with the ball, we have to make sure that they hurt and that they can't mark where we are, and they find it very difficult to get into their structure and shapes. But I expect them to block at times, counter really aggressively and effectively, so concentration is key, and staying focused throughout while we're attacking as well as defending.
And we have this game off the back of a great victory at the weekend, which was a second half thriller, lots of emotions there. Mm-hmm. How much of a strong mentality does that give this squad?
I think it was the fact that we came from behind. I think it's really important. You know, sometimes good teams can score goals, and you know, Atleti can score a goal because we have great quality. So we have to be prepared that regardless of what it looks like, we are ready to take on the challenge of coming from behind, going ahead, all of those different things that you face while in a European competition. It's imperative. If you want to be successful, you have to have the psychological edge, and I was really happy with my team with that the other day, because although we were the better team, we still had to overcome that challenge of being behind, and it's a great challenge for us, and I was really proud of the players for that.
And what is the message that you are telling the rest of the squad to have in their minds as they're playing in this fixture?
Embrace it, love it, you know, play with that quality we have, the passion we have, the commitment we have, but also that you never get these nights back. So embrace it, embrace the noise of the opponent, embrace the noise of their fans, and really take it to them, and don't be fearful, be respectful but not fearful. And I think that's going to be key going into the game, that we respect our opponent but we try and take it as aggressively as we possibly can.
Let's see what we can do. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Always good to hear from Mark Skinner, and he's done a bang-up job so far this season, absolutely no doubt about that. The game is moments away from getting underway, so in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen you'll be able to see a QR code. That is exactly where you can watch. Because of rights restrictions, because of UEFA, we can't show you the game live or bring you radio commentary. So what we're doing is we're doing these watch-alongs with Aoife and Jono, just to try and give you a little bit of insight into what's going on. So consider us your companion whilst you're watching this game. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be absolutely brilliant. What is said, Aoife, in these huddles just before the game?
Just before the game, usually either the captain or the vice captain will just say something very much along the lines of like, come on girls, like do what we've been doing in training, do what we know that we can do, perform to your own ability, utilise what you're good at. It's kind of like that good vibe, I would say. Mark's had all of the pep talk in terms of the detail, and now it's just like, come on, let's go. I don't know what your experience is over the years.
Yeah, it's just that final switch on, isn't it? And that final, all the work's been done, all the prep's been done. So it's now about, right, this is us. It's just us 11 now. At this start of this game, it's just about us 11. And you have that very brief moment where you can bring that together and bring that to the forefront of your minds, ready to go.
The leadership group for Manchester United obviously includes Maya Letizia, who scored the penalty last week against Vålerenga, but I know that Ella Toon, for example, is also one of the vice-captains, isn't she? Is it normally the gobbiest one that has something to say at that point? Not that I was looking at Ella when I said that.
It's a mixture, really. People lead in different ways. I think as Maya has stepped into her role as a captain, she's really like finding her own voice. People lead with what they do and then also how they play, and just, people get their say in, and it's just about being together.
The game is underway. Atletico Madrid against Manchester United's second Champions League game, and it's an early ball forward for United. Ends up on the edge of the penalty area. Ella Toon with the effort. Goodness me. That's inside 30 seconds and a volley from the edge of the penalty area from Ella Toon. And I think all three of us went, oh, she's done it again on the edge of the box. And it drifts ever so slightly wide. She has got that in her locker all day long, Jono.
She's fuming with herself, but you see on the replay, she doesn't catch it as well as she wants to, and she's leaning back slightly, so she knows it was an opportunity, but still, I thought that was going into the back of the net. So really good fast start from United.
That is absolutely incredible, and it does a huge amount for confidence, doesn't it? If you can make the first real impact in the game, really cause some problems, get through, get a shot away, even if it doesn't hit the target, what it does is it makes you go, right, we are bang up for this and ready to go.
Massively so. I think the first few minutes of the game, a few minutes before and after half-time, and obviously the end of the game, the impact in terms of like trying to set your stall out and the momentum of the game, it can't be, like, the importance of it can't be stated enough. So for Tooney to get that chance, and I was actually watching her 20 greatest goals on MUTV last night, a bit of a nerd, and that area just outside the 18-yard box, like, if you're going to put your money on something, it will be Tooney scoring, banging in a goal from there. Obviously no less than what she did in the FA Cup final a couple of years back. So I think when you get those moments and you get things falling for you right at the start of the game, hopefully for the girls it's a sign of things to come.
She has a special relationship with the edge of the penalty area, but also Wembley, doesn't she, Ella Toon? It's something about that. DJ Darkest Night says, so excited for this game. A lot of my friends from around the world tuning in. So proud of our girls. United Edit said, excellent lineup, Mark. And Krishna says, my second time listening to this channel while watching the game. I love it. If you do enjoy it, share us with a friend. It'd be absolutely brilliant to have them along as well. Meanwhile, in the game, 2 minutes played, and Atletico just with the restart here, but United doing as United do, and that is continuing this high press. Just explain, Jono, the amount of energy that it takes to keep that press up as high as they do, high up the pitch as they do, for as long as they do in these games. It's draining, isn't it?
Yeah, it is draining, but this is what Mark's worked on for the last couple of seasons. He's been quite open about working on that high aggressive press and to do it for sustained periods of the game. What I've noticed this season, a difference for United, is that they start every game 100 miles an hour and they don't give the opposition a chance. Whether they score in the first 15 minutes of a game or not, they're there and they're starting the game in that high press, aggressive press. And I think some teams really struggle with it. I think it's the right thing to do against Atletico. They're going to want to play it out from the back and build from the back. And at the moment, we've seen the keeper twice now look for that direct ball in those central areas as well. So it'd be something for the Manchester United midfielders to look to try and screen.
Chance maybe here coming for Elizabeth Turland, chasing into the penalty area. That is where she is brilliant, finding those little pockets in behind, and then when you get a line splitting pass like that and she's in a foot race with the goalkeeper, that's brilliant from Jade Riviere. She's intercepted high up the field, numbers in the penalty area for United as well, stood up to the back post, real chance for Elizabeth Turland. That is a magnificent piece of defending, absolutely brilliant. Wow, from Lauren, the Brazilian, done fantastically. Another cross from Sandberg here to Melvie Mallard, that almost falls as well. Manchester United getting balls into the penalty area early here, and you can sort of see that that's what they're aiming to do, is to try and put that back line into a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I really like it when I see teams get those early deliveries into the box. Nice early, whether it's a wicked low ball into the box or we've just seen 2 lofted passes to either back post. United not being able to capitalise, like you say, Lauren for Atletico Madrid made an excellent defensive header. But yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure and quite direct at the moment from United.
Good to see these early balls into the box, isn't it?
Yeah, really good to see. And it's as though Atletico's weaknesses, for me, defending in wide areas, conceded 3 goals against Atletico at the weekend, specifically from that, is like matching up with United's strengths, which is wide overloads, creating things in the wide area. So I think it will be really pleasing for Mark and the coaches and the girls in the game to see that what they're good at is actually they're already able to action on that. Unfortunately for them, usually they tell you when you're crossing the ball into the box, stick it in and around the back post because the centre halves tend to overcover where the ball is. But unfortunately for United, Lauren, one of the big kind of tall centre backs for Atletico, she's in the right area. She is really good defending crosses and she is good on the other side of the pitch at a set piece. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. And I think United will have to start to vary their crosses a bit, but definitely crosses into the box from the wide areas, that is going to be a big area of strength for United tonight.
Can I get football nerdy with you? When you say overcover, what do you mean?
So when I say overcover, cross comes into the box, you're a centre half, they tell you, right, when the ball comes into the box, generally we want you in between the sticks, so in between the frame and the goal. You just tend to take an extra step wherever the ball is and you don't look the other way, you look at the ball, you don't check your shoulder, and that's why attackers running into the box, they get told to run off your back shoulder because you can't look there and look at the ball at the same time.
It's hard to, you have your body open, but still, if that defender's coming in on your back shoulder, they've got to march on you. It's hard for you to get up higher from a standing jump.
So it's almost playing on that human instinct to take the half step towards the ball, where the ball's coming from, and then maybe opening up a little bit of space for an attacker to take advantage of. Really good. Atletico are definitely trying to apply the same level of pressure to Manchester United up high. I wonder whether this is where Manchester United, because of how long they've been playing this system, how comfortable they are on the ball, this is where they gain the advantage. They never step away from those principles of playing out from the back, even if they are under a little bit of pressure, Jono.
Yeah, and we were talking about this before we went on air as well, about, it's all about playing out from the back. All the teams, jumped on that bandwagon. I think United do it exceptionally well. They've got ball-playing defenders. They're inside the area here.
Oh. Wow, that was a chance.
Fridolina Rolfo inside the penalty area, letting go with the right foot, and it's only just over the bar. That's a great effort. Take another look at this replay. It's Elizabeth Turland that wins it, slides it in, and Rolfo just chops it onto her right foot and gets it away. Wow, that is not far off at all, is it?
It's a great effort, and it's a touch which does it for me. She just takes it onto her right foot and aiming for that far corner of the net as well. Obviously, when I watched the game at the weekend, Rolfo, you can see she's definitely gaining momentum now. She's been here. It's been a few games in, 6-7 games in now for her, and she's definitely finding her feet, and it's no surprise that she's starting tonight for me. She's got the experience of Champions League, obviously, but we see her now. She's coming inside from that left side flank, and she's coming in centrally to overload as well into the box, so she's a handful, Rolfo, so it'll be interesting to see her tonight.
She's certainly got that ability. We've seen that, throughout her career, but I think the scary thing with her is it can come from either foot. Like, we know how capable she is off her right foot, but also I heard some predictions on social media from some of the United players, and one of them was from Ella Toon, that Fridolina Rolfo was going to score a banger with her left foot at some stage this season, and that for me says they've seen it in training, which is why they've made that prediction. So yeah, really, really positive start for Manchester United. Been playing 8.5 minutes, and at the moment they're in the ascendancy. But I think all of us saying before we came on air, for just how good Atletico actually are, and you've got first-hand experience.
Yeah, Atletico are a really, really good team. We actually played them in a pre-season match at Newcastle. They beat us 2-0, but what I found really interesting is that was their first pre-season match and we were a few in. And I was saying to you, Jono, that if you ranked their kind of passing and technical ability with the WSL, I would put Atletico right up there. Now, of course, there's more things to a game than just how well you can keep the ball. There's the aggressiveness, the energy, the ruggedness, the ability to be physical and get up and down the pitch, which WSL teams kind of thrive in different ways. But certainly on that one factor, keeping the ball, playing out from the back, I would put them second to none in the WSL. And they made certainly the first half of that pre-season match looked like easy work, and I think probably their result of the weekend against Barcelona was a little bit harsh. So I'm interested to see how much they can impose themselves tonight. So far it seems more so in United's direction, but you can tell they're having bits of quality and they're just in the box here.
Yeah, and this is Maya Letitia sweeping up for United. Just going to ship that out of play for a throw-in, but it was well worked by Atletico down the right-hand side. And eventually, as the ball comes in, Maya Letitia tracking back to get it away. All comes from initially a very good challenge from Jade Riviere. Comment, if you would like to comment on the video, you need to be subscribed. If you do comment, there's a chance that we get to read out. If you've got some good questions for us, that would be absolutely brilliant and can be directed to any one of us, but probably more importantly to these two. A question for the panel: what would be seen as success for United from this Champions League campaign, says Juan Man, 75. Getting through the group stages and into the knockout phases? Question mark. Who wants to take that one?
Yeah, I think we touched upon this last week. I think it's a new format for Champions League, so obviously they're playing a number of games home and away. I think it's 6 games, isn't it, home and away over the period, and then it's in that league fixture, just like the men. So I think United would expect to qualify for the knockout stages. That would be their first objective. And then I said this last week. People might say I'm sitting on the fence, but anything can happen then in knockout football. But I definitely think qualifying into the next stage for Champions League is a very attainable objective for United.
Watch out for those splinters. Aoife?
No, I would agree. I mean, we were talking last week, predictions of FA Cup and the league, and also how far to get in Champions League. And I said on this, I think just getting out of the group stage is a massive, massive achievement and shouldn't be understated. The amount of games and how much it clogs up the schedule and the impact that can have on your domestic fixtures, I think that's quite a big part. So if United are able to kind of ride the wave of these games out and keep picking up wins as they have done, that in and of itself is success for me. Certainly in the first year that they've ever been in Champions League. Like, talk about all the other teams in the WSL that have been in Champions League lately. They're in it every year, but for United it's their first time. And I just really hope for them that they could put a good showing on and pick up the points and the wins that they would be expected to. I think that would be a good start.
Yeah, I think that's right. Hopefully that answers your question, Juan Man 75. I hope that's a Juan Mata reference. I don't know why, I just hope that it is. Make sure you subscribe if you'd like to get your questions into us. We would love to hear from you. Maybe we're just starting to see the first momentum shift in the game, where it's been all Manchester United for the opening 10 or 11 minutes. Atletico basically doing the same to Manchester United as Manchester United are trying to do to Atletico. And we talk often, there's that boxing analogy that styles make fights. That it is essentially two teams trying to do very similar things to one another here. Press high, try and turn the ball over in attacking areas and use those transitions to your advantage. We're just starting to see Atletico come into the game doing exactly that, aren't we, Aoife?
Yeah, I would sort of separate the Atletico team into 2 parts. They've got their back 4, 2 midfielders. They're like the people that just keep the ball, keep things ticking. But really the interesting thing starts happening when they can get the ball to the players ahead of that. So you look at number 18, Gio, their number 9 point striker. She offers such an outlet, stretching the lines. And then 7, Jensen on the right-hand side, or the left-hand side. Luani, 22, on the right-hand side. They're more out-and-out wingers. So you think about Atletico, you think of a team that's really good at keeping the ball, but actually they do have that variance. They do have players that can engage in more direct play. So if they can get the ball to those players, I think they can be a real threat. The question is, can they? And for how long of the match can they do that?
Interesting. We shall wait and see. Have you spotted that we've got a new guest on the set of the Watchalong today? This is an official Women's Champions League match ball. They will be using this ball in the PSG game. coming up here at Old Trafford. And I'm using it as a wonderful prop to say, buy your tickets, come and watch it. It's always a great atmosphere down here for a women's game. It's absolutely brilliant. We need as many people down here as we possibly can to support Manchester United's women, to make sure that we're getting as many folk inside Old Trafford. The atmosphere's always great, the accessibility's always great. There's none of the tribalism or oddness that you get at a men's game. It's just so welcoming, isn't it? And it doesn't matter, you get fans sat together, you get people enjoying themselves before the game. It's so important to really get some support down here and try and get the girls over the line, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive, and I think it is so welcoming. But it's great for families. But ultimately, you're going to see two very good sides playing against each other, and it's going to be a really big game. PSG, one of the big hitters in women's European football, and obviously the return of Mary Earps, who, that everyone's going to want to see that. She's going to want to do well. United are going to do well against her, and I think it's going to be a fantastic game. So definitely get your tickets for that.
Really looking forward to that one. Should be absolutely brilliant. We'll be doing a watch along for that game as well. We're doing a watch along for as many as we possibly can. In fact, we're trying for all of them. So let's hope that that's the case. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to be notified the next time that we go live with one of these watch alongs. If you want to get involved, use the comments down below, but you can only comment if you are subscribed to the Manchester United Women's Channel. Sorry, I'm also trying to watch the game at the same time, and United just coming under the first real sustained bit of pressure. They are currently defending brilliantly, and then you're kind of hoping that those transitions, that unfortunately Ella Toon can't get a toe to that one, but you're kind of hoping that that's where it comes. If United can then turn the ball over, they have the pace out of the back to try and really cause some damage to Atletico. Atletico trying to do the same thing into the penalty area here, comes across. That's a brilliant block, absolutely fantastic from Maya Letizia. Right place, right time, and oftentimes defenders do not get the credit for their positional awareness in situations like that. You see these blocks and you go, oh, that's really committed. But the reason they've been able to make the block, and I'm talking to two defenders, I don't know why I'm trying to sell it.
You're preaching to the converted.
Is because positional awareness is so good, and Maya's a really good exponent of that.
And just on that, Maya had just come, when they had that first attack and Jensen for Atletico come out wide left, it was Maya Letizia who come out wide to block that crossing. Then she's been able to get back into her central area to get positionally in the right position to stop that shot on goal.
Yeah.
I think Maya's having a fantastic season, or number of seasons, obviously. But yeah, you're dead right on the defenders in their positions, and they're expected to be there, aren't they? And if you're not there, that's when you picked up on it.
Yeah, it's like as a centre back, when you're defending a cross, you're told to do sort of almost two jobs. So you're in that space that you get judged on, you have to be in between the posts. But then in your head, as the cross is coming in, you can see who it's going to. But if you go there too quick, the ball never gets played there. So you have to almost wait for it to take the shot and then steal all the glory with a block. But it's much harder said than done, as we've obviously found out over the years. And that's what makes Maya Letizia so good at a game. She's an all-singing, all-dancing defender. She can get dragged out into the channels and do the 1v1 stuff, but can also do the positionally aware stuff in between the posts when it matters the most.
That is a poker game and a game of timings that I would be genuinely rubbish at, by the way. Terrible. It's why I never played football. Camby's been in touch, says, I love how our team is so fearless, no matter the opposition we face. It's so refreshing to watch. I couldn't agree with you more. We talk so much about football philosophies. That's a decent ball into the middle, and Melvin Mallard's lurking. About football philosophies, and are we going to make sure? God blimey, that is a right old collision between Maya Letizia, between Jade Riviere and an opposite number. It is a flying chat. It's a yellow card for Jade Riviere. I'll be honest, I was nervous just for a moment.
I was really nervous because you never know. Back in my day, that's fine. That's a yellow card, no more. But you know, we're in Champions League, you're playing European football with refs from other European cities.
And VAR.
Yeah, you know, that could still get checked. So I think she's lucky, Riviere. It was careless, wasn't it? She's come in at speed, as she always does, but not put the brakes on and actually gone in for a 50-50 ball in an area that she doesn't really need to. It's in Atletico's half. I think she could have just put the brakes on a little bit.
Yeah, she mistimes it, and the player that's fouled is number 3, Medina, so they're left back. But a left back that really likes to join in, and you can kind of see that they were starting to get a little bit of joy in that left-hand side wide channel with her making overlaps for the number 7 Jensen for Atletico. So is there that little bit of just ruggedness there that United have just went, right, we need to try and get a hold of this game? But it's so early on, it's 19 minutes in, and now crucially as a defender when you're on a yellow, you know you've not got another mistake in your locker. So how does that affect the dynamics of the game? Does Jade now think, right, I need to make sure if there's a 50-50 tackle, it can't be me? It's hard. These are the things that we have to think about as defenders. You really have to try and pitch. What are you really going to go out on a limb for? And then what are you just going to kind of sit back, delay and deny? And she's really going to have to save herself now for those big tackles unless she's in the box.
Just to bring you up to date with what's going on, Medina's back on her feet. Medical team have come to deal with it. I think the thing that maybe saves Jade Riviere here is that actually there's no contact with the studs on the opposing player. She's actually got her feet down in enough time, and she's sort of a thigh-to-thigh contact in the end. I think because of the height of that foot initially, it looks an awful lot worse at full speed than it actually is when you see it back on the replay. It is mistimed. I think a yellow card's the right decision, Lindsay.
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, on the replay, I think we're at that point, but I think Aoife's point is very valid. She's on a yellow now, and I think Jade, like most defenders, but definitely Jade, look here, we see her coming straight out, careering in, because that's her game, isn't it? It's coming out, that high press, aggressive press. We don't really see her jockeying much. It's about getting there first and timing a tackle. So she's just got to be mindful. So somebody like Maya or Dominic Janssen is going to have a word in her ear just to calm it, definitely for the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Rebecca's been in touch, says, watching with my Fred the Red mascot toy while I'm ill in bed, so thank you for the company via a screen. You are absolutely welcome, and get well soon from all of us, Rebecca, and make sure you don't pass anything on to Fred the Red. He wouldn't be very happy. Anthony White says, fantastic start, but we need to put these chances away while we're on top. And Scott White says, let's go Reds. I couldn't agree more. 0-0 at the minute. We've been playing 20 minutes. We've had a spell where Manchester United have been very much dominant, and now we've entered a phase of the game where they're just having to do a little bit more work defensively, and actually getting through that work very well, it has to be said. There's been no major breaches so far of that Manchester United backline, and this is where having players like Hinata Miyazawa and Giulia Zighiotti are really crucial, because they become sort of that first line of defence, which then allows the back four for United to reshuffle and get themselves back into position. Jade Riviere now try and move the ball forward again. It's a wonderful clash of styles, and actually a far more entertaining game in the opening 20 minutes than maybe the game against Vålerenga last week. Is that fair?
I think it's very fair, yeah. I think it's really fair. Like we've said, we've had Manchester United have had a purple patch, now Atletico Madrid have got it, but they are keeping the ball really well, Atletico Madrid, and the likes of Ella Toon we've not really seen get involved in the game so far. I'm sure she's making the right moves, but they're just kind of in those central positions. Atletico are really compact and reducing the spaces for United to play in. So I think if United can slow it down when they're on the ball as well, everything's at 100 miles an hour at the moment.
It's a really lovely touch from Ella Toon to set United going again. Ball slid down the left-hand side. Anna Sandberg's just overhit that, looking for Fridolina Rolfo down the left, but it's clever from Ella Toon. She's in traffic. There are players all around her. Instead of trying to turn, she's just immediately sent the ball back where it came from, and actually the last thing that Atletico expected, and it sets Anna Sandberg going down the left-hand side. Anna Sandberg, who, by the way, has been excellent for United so far this season, and has also got herself an absolute worldie in the WSL to match it.
Yeah, she's having such a good season so far. Obviously, not to mention, well, I am mentioning that incredible goal that she scored against Chelsea, like a worldie. Was it half volley just from the edge of the box? Yeah. And then, just looking at Elizabeth Turland here.
Yeah, in the penalty area. It's going to chop it all the way back. Comes to the penalty spot, and it's cleared away. Excellent again. Melvin Mallard with a grin on her face. Is there a player enjoying their season more than Melvin Mallard so far? Another ball into the box here. Heads go up. Chance maybe. Oh, Manchester United are in front, and it is an absolute rocket from Fridolina Rolfo. Drops perfectly for her on the corner of the 6-yard box at the back post, and she laser beams it into the back of the net. That is ferocity in the finish from Fridolina. Absolutely fantastic. Looks on the faces of the fans inside the stadium tells the story. I think absolutely brilliant from United.
It's like time stood still just for a couple of seconds while Rolfo was waiting for it to drop, and then she just unleashed her right foot. Just seeing it here, there. It took time to come down, didn't it? Just come off the Atletico defender. We're just watching it now. Or was it Tooney? Tooney's gone for the header with the Atletico defender, and there. What technique from Rolfo. If you're teaching that to any youngsters or anybody who wants to play football, she's not leaning back, she's got a head over the ball, and she catches it so sweetly, drills it. No keeper saving that.
It's so hard not to swipe at those chances, especially when she has time to see it come out of the air. And something that she does so well is that she gets a knee over the ball so that a swing can kind of stay at the same level, which lets the ball drill straight into the net. When you miss-hit that, you kind of just hoof it and whack it up, and the ball follows the arc of your foot, and then it goes over the bar. So that right there is top quality. What a finish. Delighted for her.
Yeah, really good. And fair play to everybody that was involved too, because, it needs Elatoon to go for the challenge, and then it's got to be finished. It's the pace on the ball eventually that beats the goalkeeper, all ends up. Reaper's just sent one saying, pick that one out. That's exactly right. It was leathered into the back of the net. That's what it was. Brilliant. Juan Man says, yes, get in United. If you want to get involved in the chat, hit subscribe. Only subscribers can get involved on the YouTube channel. In terms of the chat, we would love to hear from you. And as we've said, any questions, please send them our way. Manchester United leading in Madrid by 1-0. Reaper says, why is it when you all talk about PSG, you only mention Mary Earps, but forget to mention Jackie Groening? And I would just counter that, Reaper, with, I don't think we've mentioned... Did we mention Mary Earps?
I've just mentioned it. They've got me. Yeah, they've got me. Yeah. Obviously, we're going to mention Mary. She's coming back to United, where she obviously had.
She's English as well. She's like
players.
a nation sweetheart, or at least she was for the Lionesses' first Euro win.
Of course, but you know, very rightly pulled us up on mentioning Jackie Groening, an excellent player who's developed as she's got older as well, I think, like a fine wine. So she's a very good midfielder.
That's such a nice thing to say about someone. I'd love for someone to say that about me.
I definitely think so.
I mean, fine wine.
She started her career off at Chelsea in England, didn't she, in the WSL, and it didn't quite go for her, and then came to United after going back out in Europe. So I think she's a fantastic player. So, wrapped. We take it on board.
No, we will. And look, maybe you would like a stat about Jackie Groening that you can take away, and that is that she had a choice about what sports she could have done as she was growing up. Jackie Groening, she was a brilliant judo player.
I didn't know
she was
that.
a judoka for a long time. Could have gone down that route, decided to become a professional footballer. There you are, Reaper. You have learnt something, hopefully, tonight. Yep, so we'll see her back. We also haven't mentioned Vilda Boarisa, by the way, who is in the Atletico team tonight. I'm not sure we really got to see the very, very best of Vilda Boarisa, because so much quality.
Yeah, she is a player that has so much quality. She scored a banger last week from the edge of the box. First time finished against Bolton when Atletico won 6-0. Really, really good. And I agree with you. I think she did a 2-year stint at United. Such a lovely girl. Probably never got onto the pitch. Well, she didn't get onto the pitch as much as she would have wanted. We were saying off air, weren't we? At that time, that position was between the captain, Katie Zellum, and her, and she just fell on the foul side of that, probably a little bit. But when she did play, you could see there were so many elements to her game, and for Atletico, she plays more as a holding midfielder, but she can kind of do a little bit of everything, and she has popped up a few times for them recently with really, really good goals. So she's definitely one to watch tonight.
We've had a couple of people get in touch and tell us where they're watching from. So here's a quick straw poll for you. In the comments, just tell us where in the world that you are. We've had Toronto, Kansas, Salford, Calcutta, Japan, Chorley, Bahrain, Kenya, all over the place. Just stick it in the comments. Subscribe.
Toronto, Salford.
And just let us know. Yeah, we started Toronto, then went Kansas, then went Salford. We were working our way slowly from one side of the globe to the other. Let's find out where Susie is watching. Susie, watching at home, I think, are you?
I am. Sorry, perfect time if the cat joined in. I'm at home in Hitchin.
Amazing. Look, this has been a really interesting game so far, Susie. The goal from Frido is absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
Incredible, yes. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Well, she had that shot really early on, didn't she? And you thought maybe she's just not gonna hit it like the last game. But yeah, no, that was incredible. It's such a great cross across from Julia as well. They played really well together.
You certainly have. Has this Champions League campaign taken you by surprise so far?
I guess I didn't know what to expect. It's all new, isn't it? And playing so many different teams, which I think is great. It was fun. We had the chance to go to Stockholm to go and see the games there against. So that was really cool. Just been really great. And I think as a team we're all playing so well together. We've had such a great start to the season. So I think, I'm expecting good things.
It's been a blistering start to the season for Manchester United, hasn't it? And when you look at those results, the 2 draws against Arsenal and Chelsea, the win in the Champions League, coming through qualifying, it feels like a team that A, understands how they're supposed to be playing, but B, has got even more left to give. Is that a fair assessment, do you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think we build with every game. I think we get better. Just keep. Well, the cohesion in the team is fantastic. I love that, and I think you can see the connections with the different players. And as people come back, like even seeing Leah and Rachel getting on the pitch at the weekend, I think once they're able to get more minutes as well, what a backup to have coming on.
Yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. Look, before we let you go, who do you think is going to be pivotal going into the last hour of this game for United? Who would you tell us all to keep an eye on?
I think Melvine up top. I think she's born for Champions League. I think she's going to be incredible. Everyone front to back, but I think Melvine will show her class even more.
Keep your fingers crossed. We'll catch up with you towards the back end of the second half and see how you're feeling as we get into the nervy end of the game. Thanks very much, Susie. We'll be back with you a little bit later on. If you would like the opportunity to do exactly what Susie's just done, we would love to hear from you. The way to do it is to get involved again in the chat on the YouTube comments. The only way to get involved in the chat on the YouTube comments is to make sure you are subscribed. Yes, everybody has heard me say it countless times, but it's the only way that you can get involved. If you want to be on the phone with us next week, drop us a message. We'll try and get in touch with you and see whether we can figure it out. Some of those comments, like Elliot, fantastic to see Frida get her maiden goal for United and on the European stage as well. Absolutely. Reaper's been back in touch and said, by the way, I'm watching this from Trinidad and Tobago, and we just got added to the list of supporters clubs from Manchester United officially. I am not jealous at all. Where would you rather be watching, from Old Trafford or from Trinidad and Tobago? Yeah, I think you win that one. South Africa, says Krishna, thank you very much indeed. DJ says, wow, our ladies team's gone global right now. Yeah, look, Manchester United is that, isn't it? As soon as you sort of see the badge, it is massive. You kind of forget just how huge the brand is. What's it like playing with that crest on your shirt, Aoife?
I think it is. You feel the passion and there's a weight that comes with it. It's a tremendous pressure.
Chance here. Oh, it's just past
that
the
was
post.
A really good chance.
Melvin Mala. Yeah, she's got her head in her hands because she's broken free. She sort of stabs the finish with the toe.
She toes it, doesn't she?
She wants it to creep inside the post, and it just creeps the wrong side.
I know she probably won't appreciate this coming from a centre half, but she's got to get the outside of her foot around that and just bend it into that far post. Obviously, a very hard skill to do when you've got a defender so close, putting that press on the back. But it was a great run. She started that move and nearly finished it.
It's really hard to shape and place the ball when you're running dead at the ball and you don't have that time because the press on you from the defender is so good. You don't have the time to move the ball slightly offline to then get your leg round and swing it. So she did the right thing, I think, poking it. But like Jono says, if she just managed to get maybe the outside of her foot, it could have curled within, us saying,
I'm laughing because I'd never think to do that. But
well, I'm a level removed because I've never even got close to playing football properly. But there are some people that might look at that situation and go, "Oh, she could have opened her body out and finished side-footed at the near post." But you're explaining that it's just not that straightforward.
You don't have time because in order to do that, you have to take an extra touch, and to take an extra touch. That takes time and you're getting pressed. So really, you either get your body around the ball, again, you don't have time because there's pressure on the ball, or you just try and hit it dead. And if you open up your foot, then the goalkeeper can read what you're going to do. So you're also trying to have a level of disguise in what you do when you hit the ball. There's so much to it.
Yeah,
there's actually so much to it.
It's really interesting. And strike pattern as well, I guess, because the time is so limited. Brilliant from Fallon Tullis-Joyce, by the way, diving out the feet of the attacker. She can't go with her left foot either in that situation because if she takes another stride, the defender's coming across. Yeah. So the only option that she's got is to go with the right foot and go with the toe of the right foot and just sort of hope that you get enough control on it that it tucks on the inside of the post.
I agree, and you're not ever going to get a number 9 in the form that Melvin Mallard who's going to pass it in that situation. She's always going to go for goal, and rightfully so. That's what makes the top goal scorers the best in the world.
Nigeria, Libya, Kenya, Uganda, Manchester and Namibia we're adding to the list. How many countries do you reckon we could get up to by the time we get to the end of the watch-along? If you're wondering what I'm talking about, we're asking Manchester United fans to let us know in the comments where in the world they are watching the watch-along from. So if you haven't heard your country named, then definitely give us a shout. That would be absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, let's see whether we can open that out. I want some fun cities as well. Maybe some European destinations that I could, go and visit during an international break where I've got nothing else to do. That'd be great. Some travel recommendations for us on the sofa. I like that we are the underdogs, says Pretend We Don't Exist. What a good username that is. Nobody really rates us in the media. Oh, I've just lost that. In the media, despite us clearly being the most informed team in the WSL and playing really good football. Are Manchester United the underdogs?
No, I don't think so in this scenario. I think you look at Atletico Madrid, they've got experience in the Champions League. But I think it goes back to your point, Liam, is the name that Manchester United have globally. I think, everybody's always going to think that you are the favourites going into a game. But I do agree, Manchester United's form at the moment, and I said it last week, I think it is the best in the league currently. I know they're not at the top because they drew against Chelsea, but they're playing probably the best football currently, and they're scoring the goals, and again, they're not conceding. But I think people in the women's game are giving them the sort of plaudits that they deserve at the moment.
The reason that I'm pulling a face is that Dominique Janssen has just been booked for a tackle that's gone in down the right-hand side. I'm not convinced that there's any contact there at all, Aoife, is there? No,
she really plays it, their number 18, Gio. And on the replay, it's quite clear Dom pulls out, but again, she gets a yellow for it. Adding to that, Jade already has one, so it's not really a good outcome for United here. And it's a free kick from a really, really dangerous area. It's a type of area where you don't know as a player whether to set up as though it's a corner or as though it's a free kick. So it sends you into that level of hesitation as, do we go zonal and kind of just dump in around the area, or do we actually mark players? And sometimes, like Anna Sandberg had a really good opportunity where the goal came from against what am I talking about? They played Everton at the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. She had a free kick.
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah,
awkward area,
yeah.
Similar area, almost like a corner. And obviously Everton turned it into an OG. So free kicks, giving away free kicks in these areas, it's really, really dangerous. And in particular, Lauren, one of their centre backs for Atletico, and Gabby, their number 8. Really, really good aerially, really good on a set piece.
What did you prefer? Did you prefer zonal or man marking?
This is a whole discussion we're getting into here. I agree.
We had one at the weekend.
We need to have this conversation.
We had one at the weekend, and one of the girls turned to me and was like, shall we set up like a corner or a free kick? And I stumbled and I was like, like a free kick. But really, you should have a plan for that. And we didn't have a plan for it in the game. So we ended up setting up like a free kick so we could push our line a little bit higher. The idea being that Femke, our keeper, could come out and claim the ball. What would you do?
Have we got a VAR check going on here?
Oh, yeah.
We have. So we're having another look at this. Well, it's outside the penalty area.
She doesn't. She pulls her foot back.
So what potentially is the VAR looking at here? Because you can clearly see it's outside the line. Oh, right, okay, maybe I have spotted it on that replay. Look at the right knee of Dominique Janssen, and we think it catches the outside of the ankle of Gio there. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure there's enough in that to be upgrading it to a red card, but the fact that the referee's been called over to the monitor would suggest that the video assistant referee thinks it probably should be upgraded.
And this is my worry, because I think here, she does catch it in this really, really slow-mo. It took us a while to pick it up. But you can see, as a player, she realises she's not going to get the ball, going to take the player, so I'm pulling out. She's pulling out with her left foot. You can see that's what she's doing, retracting it.
Yeah, I tell you what, Dominique Janssen is probably going to have her card upgraded here, and that feels incredibly harsh. Is it a clear and obvious error when you've got a defender that's pulling out of a challenge that's made accidental connection with the outside of an ankle with a trailing knee, not even with the leading foot, for that to be overruled from yellow and upgraded to red? Aoife, that feels incredibly harsh.
That is so unfair. We can just see the referee on the screen here giving her the red.
Wow.
So harsh. And the irony is, if she hadn't have pulled out of the tackle, it probably would have been a cleaner contact, and maybe it would have just been the yellow. But I mean, it really, you had to watch it on the slow-mo to see her trading leg go through their number 18, Gio's ankle. But it's harsh. She didn't intend to do that. Obviously, she does look like she's down in a little bit of pain, so hopefully we can see that she's okay. But harsh for Dom, because she tries to pull out from the tackle. What more can she do?
Yeah, and I totally agree. And what I'm frustrated about with VAR is that if the referee is sent to VAR, they're put in this position where they're thinking, well, the people in VAR, the 3 people who are watching, they think I need to have another look at this. Not many refs stand by their original decision in those situations, and I think that's the wrong decision. And it's really frustrating for not just for United but for defenders. That's a yellow card. It's accidental, and you can see she was trying to pull out the tackle.
How many of the markers does that actually hit? Dominique Janssen is not out of control. She pulled out of the challenge. It's not high. There's no stud showing. There's no excessive force. I can't see where it's hit the criteria for it to be a sending off.
I think the ref wouldn't have seen that trading leg. So VAR goes, did you see that? And if the ref says she doesn't, then that gives it grounds to go and have a look at VAR. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. That contact is clear from a trading leg, but she's pulling out of the tackle, isn't she?
Yeah, I think it's harsh. And now, like you say, this is a really, really difficult free kick.
We're having a look at the slow-mo now, so you can sort of see what we've been talking about. So while that's happening, Buildup are about to put a ball into the penalty area. I mean, make your own judgment here whether you think that is worthy of a red card offence. I don't think it is. It's a short free kick taken, eventually put back into the penalty area. Header comes in. Brilliant stop from Fallon Tullis-Joyce. There's a scramble on the goal line. Where's it gone? Over the line, and it's No, it's a free kick given to Manchester United, and I tell you what, how Fallon Tullis-Joyce has come out of that with the ball clasped between her hands, I will never know. Goodness me.
I know, I was really cringing when Vilda chose to do that short pass to their number 22, Luani, because I felt like with her ability to put the ball into the box, Atletico would be a massive threat. They eventually get it in. Gabby, their number 8, is on the back post, kind of puts it back into a melee, and then Jade and Fal are sort of having a scuffle. But it's clear the Atletico's just kind of kicking around at the ball when Fal's got one hand on it.
I tell you what, we've just had one VAR decision. By the way, QR code, bottom corner, if you want to know exactly where to watch along live. It's on Disney Plus tonight. You need to make sure that you click that QR code if you want to figure it out. We're going to have another VAR check here, and the VAR check is going to be for handball from Jade Riviere on the line. So as the ball is bouncing around inside the penalty area, think it makes contact with Jade Riviere's hand. So now the question becomes, is it ball to hand? Is it handball? Is there movement towards the ball? Has it just bounced up into an arm? Is the arm in an unnatural position? All of those criteria are now being checked by the video assistant referee, and we could have 2 VAR checks in the space of a minute where Manchester United come off worse. No, that one's checked and cleared. We're all right. Everybody can take a big breath, a giant sigh of relief, and I can ask Aoife to try and explain what on earth has just gone on here.
It would have been too harsh to send off a player and then also give a penalty a minute or two later. I don't know if that factors into the mind of the refs, but really she should be thinking that was a bit of a loose red card. So if there was grounds to just level things out and even things up, even if it did hit Jade on the arm, which we think it did, whether it was ball to hand or hand to ball is a different question. I think it's probably the right outcome. But now, crucially, we're without Dom. We, United, are without Dom Janssen, and how will the game change now?
Yeah, and how will Manchester United shift things around? Well, just keep an eye on that situation, because now it's basically half a game with 10 players for Manchester United. I've just pulled up the considerations for a red card, and get involved in the chat. Let us know what you think, whether you think it was a fair red card or not. And I understand that I'm speaking to a bunch of Manchester United fans, and if anybody says that it should have been, then, well, I'd be very surprised. Speed, intensity, force, degree of control, point and extent of contact are the considerations. Contact on the foot only is typically considered reckless, yellow card. High and full and forceful contact on an ankle or above is considered dangerous, or a red card. Now, it wasn't high for me. There was full contact. There wasn't overt force. I still think that red card feels very, very soft.
I agree. I mean, I'm glad you've just repeated all of those factors, but for me it's just not a red card, because like you say, there's no intent, there's no force. It's an accident. She's actually trying to pull out of the tackle as well, so it's not a red card for me, but obviously they've deemed it different, and now you've got Zigiotti, I think, is dropped into that centre half position next to Letitia there, so you obviously just shuffling everyone back. Tooney dropping in as well, so you've just got to get to half time so Mark Skinner can get that information onto his players, possibly bring somebody else on. He's got players he can bring on in the likes of Gabby George, as a defensive player. Hannah Blundell, we've not seen her since she come back from a baby yet, but or you can make some movement elsewhere. He's got the players to bring on, but it's 45 minutes where you've got to play with 10 women.
He's making the right decision to try and get himself to the break before making any changes. Yeah. But there are 7 minutes at time added on. We've played 2 of those, so we've got 5 minutes left essentially of the first half, with Atletico in the ascendancy, getting another ball into the penalty area, which is brought down. But equally, Atletico have lost Gio as well, who's had to be stretchered off the field after the tackle from from Dominique Janssen and the unfortunate contact that essentially results in a red card. Gareth Royal says never a red card. Juan Man says that red card was very harsh, to say the least. Night Running says standards in the women's game have to improve. We're seeing this week in, week out now. Refereeing standards, I think we're talking about here rather than general standards. And Stoney says the game is being ruined tonight by the video assistant referee, and unfortunately we're having a very similar conversation, aren't we, to the conversations that we've been having across the piece in the men's game for a long time, where have we got another VAR check going on here? No, the referee's jogging across, and it's going to be a yellow card for one of the Manchester United backroom staff for complaining too vociferously towards the assistant referee on the far side.
And at this point, you need your staff to be calm. It's going to be quite, hectic, chaotic at this moment. You've got a player sent off. You've got to check for a penalty. You're under the cosh at the moment. There's another corner to defend or another set piece to defend. You want that calmness to be, emitted from your staff as well. So I think, they've got to defend this well, and they've defended everything well. And the frustrating thing for United is they were in the ascendancy. They had the goal. I think they had a lot of momentum, and then the sending off. So it really does just ebbs and flows football, and that's why we love it, right?
Yeah.
So.
And let's not forget, for all of the chaos of the last 5 minutes, Man United are 1-0 up.
Yeah.
They would take this at half-time. Of course, they're a player down. Vilda Barisa just putting the ball into the box here.
It's a dangerous ball under the crossbar as well. It's a brilliant two-fisted punch from Fallon Tullis-Joyce, and then she gets down to the weak shot from the edge of the penalty area. And again, we're talking about Fallon Tullis-Joyce making two really important contributions in the space of 30 seconds. Should we update the list of where people are watching? Whoever's written this down in my document here, it's absolutely brilliant. It goes Botswana, Gambia, Ghana, Northwich, Jakarta, Jamaica, Venezuela, and Phil in North Wales. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant.
I used to live just outside Northwich.
Did you?
Big up Northwich.
My business partner lives in Frodsham, so just outside Northwich as well. Nice. So. Krishna says, wish I could attend a live match I'm watching from South Africa. One day, Krishna, one day, I'm sure Manchester United will arrive in South Africa and you will be able to watch a live game. That would be absolutely brilliant for you. Stacey says, I'm watching this from a hospital bed, but doesn't say where. Tell us where you are, Stacey, and I hope everything's okay. And we're sending all of our love. Lilink says, love watching United close the gap over the last few years. I love the technical side and pressing is brilliant. Despite losing big players, we have a fantastic team. Steve from Sunderland. And I think that's the commitment to the sort of style of football. And they do get better year in, year out. And it's been brilliant to see. And you were such a huge part of that, Aoife, as well. The development of this Manchester United side from when it came into the Championship, when it was reformed, to now challenging at the top of the WSL and competing for trophies.
Yeah, the team is doing so well, and it was an absolute joy and a privilege to be a part of it for 4 years. I think I ended up with just over 50 caps. Such a joy. We managed to win the FA Cup. We qualified for the Champions League qualifying stages 1 year. Obviously got in, the girls are in it now. 3 back-to-back FA Cup finals. There's just so many things that this team has achieved, and for me it's a dream to be able to sit here tonight with you, Jono, and just kind of like sit back and enjoy it. And I was talking to one of the staff last week after the last Champions League game, and I was saying I hope that the girls can appreciate the enormity of what they're achieving, because me now as a fan, I find it easier. It's almost easier to have a smile on my face now. I'm like watching them from the outside, but when you're in the thick of things, it's just so day by day, game by game, that sometimes you forget just how well you're doing as a team.
We are seconds away from reaching the half-time whistle. About 15 seconds left on the first half. Don't forget to stay subscribed and click the bell if you want to get involved with the conversation that we're having over the course of the game. We're going to be with you all the way through the second half too, just to try and give you a little bit of calm despite the chaos in the last 5 minutes of this first half. Half-time whistle goes and Manchester United will head down the tunnel at the break, leading by a goal to nil, but down to 10 players after Dominique Janssen sent from the field for a tackle on Gio at the top of the pitch. Just briefly from both of you before we go and have a cup of tea at half-time, what have you made of the first 45 minutes, Lindsay?
I think it's been really competitive. I think we've seen ebbs and flows in the game. But I think since United got their goal, they were definitely in the ascendancy, and they looked like they got momentum and got that confidence. They were playing higher up the pitch, but that sending off has just sent it into a little bit of a chaotic scenes. They just need to settle in this half-time, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. United did really well to get that goal. They seemed like they were on the up. Then Dom got sent off. So it was such a harsh sending off. I really don't think she deserved it. And that seems to have sent the momentum into a spin. And you could see just right at the end, pushing to half-time, that Atletico seemed to get more of a hold on the game. But United are 1-0 up, so they do have the cards in their corner. They need to see this 45 minutes out, weather the storm, ride the wave, and get back on that plane to Manchester with 3 points.
Yeah, but obviously with no Millie Turner available either for Manchester United, it does become a bit of a problem as to sort of what they do next. So Ziggiotti sitting in there at the minute. We know that last week you loved a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff, so we've done exactly the same again. We've got a little bit of behind-the-scenes action coming up for you from last week in Vålerenga, so stick with us whilst we go and have a glass of water and a breather after that first 45 minutes.
A glass of wine.
No, well, that would be lovely. There is a wine fridge over there. I wonder whether it's
I'm
unlocked.
training tomorrow.
Go and steal Sir Alex's red. No, let's not do that. We'll be in all sorts of trouble. Look, you go and enjoy half-time. Have a look behind the scenes. We're going to go and have a little break. We'll be back with you in the second half.
Lovely. Don't really nice with you.
Don't we know we can win? Scandinavia, cheese, United Saviour, we can feel it in the air! Whoa! This is going! Jimmy! Good luck! Lisa! Oh, baby, Shaw! She loves to fight! She wants to fight!
It's of direct quality, so it'll be a tough hassle. Something that the 60 players do. It's played different cultures, which I love. It changes your footballing ground. So there's lots of different rules. Yeah, very difficult. It's been a really difficult game.
Hello and welcome to Leigh Sports Village, where we're getting ready to face Vålerenga in the first of 6 league phase games in the Women's Champions League.
We're all going on the European top! The European top!
Progress of the
take it 1-0, clean sheet, and we start with 3 points. Okay? Those are the games, though, that when you're playing in Europe, it's going to be more difficult because teams will block against you. We have to keep our patience and maturity. Having said that, we bounce again, we move again into the weekend with another victory. Well done, super work, congratulations, well done. Good work.
Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Team!
Oh, isn't that cute?
Right, we are in the midst of trying to figure out the changes. We think it's Ella Toon and Elizabeth Turland that have left the field for United. Gabby George and Lisa Nalsund coming on to replace them. Welcome back. This is the live watch-along on the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel. We are your companion to watching the game live. The idea is you can watch it on the TV. It's on Disney+. And then you can also have us to try and give you a little bit of context. It's basically biased, like fully behind Manchester United. So you don't have to listen to those annoying neutral commentators. That's essentially what we're getting at here. 2 changes for United, probably exactly what was called for. And it's a shame, really, that Elizabeth Turland and Ella Toon have had to leave the field. But Mark Skinner in this position has got to, A, understand that they're a goal up, B, that they're down to 10 players. Right decision for you, Aoife?
I mean, a change does have to be made. Dom's went off the pitch. She's obviously a centre-back. So at the very least, you need to have 4 in the back line. I don't know if the profiles of the players higher up on the pitch can quite do that job. So I think Gabby, at the very least, coming into centre-back is the right call. On a personal note, I'm really pleased to see her getting onto the pitch. She's a great girl. I know back in the day where she played centre-back loads, so I think she's going to do a stellar job, and I'm really, really rooting for her.
Yeah, well, same. I obviously played with a centre half when she was a kid at Everton, and she, found her trade there. And she's an excellent 1v1 defender. So she's got pace. She's good with her timing. She's aggressive, and hopefully she'll just slot straight into that centre back position, that left centre half. But then you could argue, did that other change need to happen so early? But Mark Skinner knows his team, and ultimately you've still got players on that starting 11 who can score goals. Okay, ultimately you're there to defend your lead, but if you can get a goal in a quick transition or a quick counter against the run of play, then so be it.
And that's kind of where Lisa Nelson comes into her own. You already described Aoife as this engine, this box-to-box midfielder, but also has the ability to play those passes in behind. And if you need to stretch a game, if you need to take advantage on the counter, she is the perfect player to be able to do that. As Jade Riviere comes over and sweeps up, Fridolina Rolfo is going to take over, and United looking to get out from the back. They lead by 1-0. They're down to 10 players after Dominique Janssen was harshly sent off in the first 45 minutes. That's the state of the game. Stacey, who is in the hospital bed, hope you're okay, Stacey, is in Nuneaton, capital of Hungary.
No.
There we go. It took a second, didn't it? It took a second. Proper dad joke, that wasn't it? What's the capital of Hungary? Nuneaton. Oh, dearie me. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I mean, even the producers in the gallery are laughing at me here going, please don't do that again. I mean...
I was going to say I've got one, but if we're not allowed to do
No, I think you're all right. I think I've been banned.
What's the biggest city in the world? Don't you know it? You know it. Aoife, what's the biggest city in the world? Dublin, because it just keeps doubling.
Hey, terrible dad jokes. If you've got terrible dad jokes, subscribe and join in. If we get to... No, I'm not encouraging you. This is a terrible, terrible idea that could go horribly wrong, because I've got to read those out and it made me look daft, so let's not do that. Bilon says, Manchester United women carrying the United name, watching whilst listening to you from Nairobi. Hi, Aoife, where's your bucket hat?
Hi. My bucket hat is at home because I'm meant to be professional tonight.
Yeah.
I know we're doing dad jokes, but I promise this is meant to be high-end analysis. I've got my iPad here, I'm ready to tell you everything. But no, we're getting stuck doing...
You've been the only sensible one, to be fair.
Well, there's time. We're only 47 minutes in.
DJ Darkest Night says, I think we have more energy than them. We need to keep playing the same way. That's really interesting. So, can United carry on playing the same way that they played for the vast majority of the first half with 10 players on the field? Or is it, you've just got to be practical here, pragmatic about the way that you go about the second half?
Yeah, I think it's really, really hard to... You can give the same energy, you can give the same intent, but in terms of the passing patterns, it's different because you're one player down. I'm noticing that United have went into what I would call a 4-4-1, so they've lost one player in the midfield. I know Lisa Nolsonder's on the pitch, but to me, she looks like more of a wide midfielder. So you've got Jade right back and then Lisa in front. So what we're going to see now is when United don't have the ball, they're going to be really, really narrow and compact. So there's going to be more running off the ball. They're probably going to sit into a mid-block. And what that means is when they get the ball back, their opportunities will be the counter-attack. But I don't think we're going to be looking at the same United in terms of playing out from the back, making loads of connections, using the overload. Quite simply, because they don't have the overload now, a player's been sent off the pitch.
Atletico on the charge down the right-hand side. Crosses hammered through the penalty area. Goodness, could have got absolutely anywhere. It deflects wide of the mark in the end. I think it's going to be a corner, but good defending.
Yeah, really good defending. I think for Atletico, Lueni on this right-hand side for them, the number 22, she's been their best player, the most attacking player. She puts a really good driven low cross, just pulls it back slightly, and it's good defending by Manchester United just to get that out. But I think what Aoife's saying as well is when United, when they do have the ball in that mid block as well, I think Mark's worked on it. Those quick transitions when you turn the ball over, how quickly then can you make it wider to create that space? But it's going to be a lot of work for Mallard in that number 9 position on her own. She'll be isolated at times, but we'll see her dropping back quite deep as well, won't we?
So, we've been playing 49 minutes of the game. The reason that we're slightly behind is we had 7 minutes of time added on at the end of the first half, so we've only just got back underway in the second period. Atletico definitely on top, but this will be kind of backs against the wall for Manchester United for the vast majority of this second half. The real bonus here is how well United have defended over the course of this season. They are well drilled, they are hard to break down, they're very difficult to score against, as proved in the games against Chelsea and Arsenal, where those free scoring sides found it very, very difficult to find the back of the net against Manchester United. A couple more messages. If you'd like to get involved, make sure you subscribe and get involved in the comments. Akambi says, if you want to give this team a compliment, you have to say it's lovely to see how they defend so well. Every player works so hard, and I think work ethic is a common theme throughout a lot of things that we've been saying over the course of the evening. Bryony says, we love Aoife. Which is nice, and she spelled your name right too, which is always good news.
Double points.
Francis says, makes no sense that referees are now judging card decisions based on how severe an injury looks. The focus should be on the challenge itself, intent, recklessness, and danger. Really interesting. That was the conversation that we were having at half-time. It felt, didn't it, like after the fact, seeing how bad the injury was to Gio, that they'd kind of retrospectively gone, well, if the injury's that bad, the tackle must have been that bad. I don't know whether that is actually what happened, but that's what it felt like as we were watching it in real time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think What's frustrating for me is the refs made their decision, but then you have somebody in your ear saying, really, you need to go and have a look at that. And that, for any human, puts doubt in your mind. And you're constantly then in this battle then of thinking, right, and you already know that the injury is quite a bad one, quite a serious one, so then you're in doubt a little bit more. And that just then, I don't know, muddies the water for you as the referee, and it's not easy, but I would really like to see some referees go to VAR and stick with their original decision if they fully believe that's the right decision.
Nelson has just won the ball back really high. Miyazawa looking to thread the pass through. There was a moment ago where, talking about the referee, it looked like Melvin Mallard had been pushed to the ground. The referee sort of pointed and went to blow the whistle and then changed her mind and let Atletico play away. So maybe just gave herself a bit of breathing space before making the decision, and whether or not she got it right, we don't know. We haven't seen a replay yet. But, you know, nobody likes referees, do they? No, I mean, no one. I've never met somebody that goes, oh, I'm really glad there's a referee today.
It's a hard one because referees are almost like the taxman.
Pass of a question, by the way. Absolutely dreadful.
No, it's really hard because when you don't acknowledge the decisions that probably go in your way, and then it's that confirmation bias of when things go against you, it's a reminder that the referee is really annoying you. What really annoys me is when a referee goes to make a decision and then for whatever reason changes their mind. I think the PGMOL, or the kind of governing bodies of referees, are aware of this. So what they do now is at the start of the season, they'll send referees into clubs to be like, look, this is what we have a mandate to do. These are the reasons why we're doing certain things. These are the tweaks. Like, for example, last year a red card would be given for this, but now it's this. And they try to get us on side. And I think as players we do have a responsibility to respect the referee, and there has been issues with that in football in a way that there isn't in other sports such as hockey, such as rugby. So I am on the fence. Things really do annoy me, but I do acknowledge the need for respect.
But I never thought when I was playing, I don't want a referee or anything like that, but what I did think is, yes, I've got that referee, or no, nightmare, we've got this referee.
Oh, a little over there on the edge of the penalty area. Shot comes in and Maya Letizia, with her arms pinned behind her back, gets the block in. It's still Atletico on the edge of the penalty area. It's another good block, this time from Gabby George, but only as far as the edge of the box. Real pressure being applied here, and then a sort of half-hit ball into the penalty area. Clearance is not great from Jade Riviere. Cross comes back in, headed clear by Maya Letizia. Need to be careful not to fully commentate on this game, otherwise the powers that be will be cross with me for doing so. United are very definitely in, it's not quite the Alamo, but it's not a million miles away from that at the moment, is it? It's backs against the wall job at times in this second half.
Yeah, United seem to be sitting deeper. I think one advantage that being a player down does give you is that you're under no illusion that you have to work really hard off the ball. And sometimes when you're playing against a team that have went down to 10 players, they're the hardest to break down because they know that their positioning and their energy and staying narrow, it really has to be on point. So there's that. And then the other thing that I think Atletico will find hard is little insider information. When we played them in pre-season, I was talking to Vilda after the game and I said, what are the teams that you find hardest to beat? And she said, it's the teams that sit in. It's the teams that don't really come out for it. So I'm interested to see, do Atletico now struggle now that there's less space in the game? And I think that they might.
Well, that's interesting. Just for clarity, there has been a yellow card in the game. Alexia Fernandez got booked for a barge on Fridolina Rolfo. We were in the middle of a conversation, so probably didn't bring that to you as quickly as we could have done. So yeah, just confirmation, Alexia Fernandez has been booked in this second half. Melvin Mallard trying to get Manchester United out, but the ball's immediately back to the edge of the penalty area. And this is kind of going to be the issue because United are sat in so deep. There's no immediate out ball for them. If it doesn't stick with Melvin Mallard, who is, you know, double marked at the minute, it's difficult to get yourself out from the edge of your penalty area. You've got to kind of hope that Melvin Mallard is able to sort of hold the ball up in those areas.
Well, you can see here, I know the viewers can't see it, but the formation in the organisation is on point. You can see that, you know, they've got their banks of four, they've got Melvin Mallard, and what the information from Mark will be is you work as hard as you can for as long as you can, because we've got players like Rach Williams who could come on and do that aggressive press, but hold the ball up really well, which is what you need from your number 9 in these positions. So I'm sure that's what he said to his players.
Oh, what a save! What a save! Fallon Tullis-Joyce somehow getting hands to it. It's absolutely brilliant from the American. Just great footwork. You see her shuffle 1, 2 steps to her left and then bang, manages to get 2 palms to it, pushes it over the bar. That is top class.
That's an amazing save, and Luani seems to be having a really good game. Of Atletico's last 20 goals, she scored 4. So if something's going to come for Atletico tonight, she's going to be one of the key players. She does a lovely give and go, and then gets on the end of it, similar to Melvine Mallard's toe poke in the first half, a bit further out, but she's got shape on it, she's got curve, goes into Fallon Tullis-Joyce's far left corner, she gets a hand to it, it's a brilliant save, and that's exactly why she's I think the best keeper in the WSL at the moment.
I think that's another double save whilst you've been talking from Fallon Tullis-Joyce. Gets down low to make the initial block, gets back to her feet so quickly. I think she's got a right hand to that as well, to turn that away for another corner. That is absolutely incredible. We're showing you the initial save as soon as we can. The QR code in the bottom corner is where you can actually watch the game live. It's on Disney Plus. Wow, Fallon Tullis-Joyce. Somebody asked us a question a little bit earlier. Who on the field do we think is going to have an amazing second half and win player of the match? This was from Chris. Or is it already Fridolina Rolfers for the first half strike? I think Fallon Tullis-Joyce, probably Chris's, a senior message somehow in between the sticks for Manchester United and gone, no, player of the match is still very much up for grabs and it could be mine. She's brilliant again. How many times is she gonna be this rock at the back for Manchester United?
It's fantastic, to go from Mary Earps and the seamless transition Fallon Tullis made when she stepped into her gloves and come into the start 11. She's been fantastic, and to have a player like that with her ability, shot stopping from distance, but for such a tall player, she's one of the tallest goalkeepers in the WSL, but she can get down so quickly and so agile, and she's good with the ball at her feet, so she's got everything in her locker for a goalkeeper.
She's incredibly mobile and agile as well for a goal. Well, not just for a goalkeeper, for anybody. I've never seen someone be able to get so deep into their stretches. I remember saying to her, Fal, did you learn that? Like, basically tell me your secret so I can do it. And she said, I have always been a little bit like this. So although that was deflating for me to listen to, I think it gives you an insight that she's so athletic, she's so mobile. So it's no surprise to me that she's making saves like this.
Thumbs up in the chat for Fallon Tullis-Joyce, please, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a load of people watching at the minute, highest all night apparently, so welcome along if you are new to this. The only way to get involved in the chat is by subscribing to the YouTube channel. Absolutely brilliant. Make sure you've subscribed, make sure you hit the thumbs up, give us a like, and also notifications as well. Get those turned on for the next watch along that we do. Plus there's loads of content on the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, including archive goals and all of that good stuff, behind the scenes footage, all of that. Chance here on the edge of the penalty area. Nelson's going to pull this back to Sandberg. Sandberg tries to tuck it inside to Fridolina Rolfer. Still not dead though. Nelson pulls it back to Rolfer. Rolfer looking to work this into the penalty area. United just showing that even though they're having to go through long spells of defending here, they can still cause Atletico a problem. And really important to remind Atletico of that, because in the flow of the game, what you don't want is this head of steam built up by one team that makes them think that they are invincible, because the confidence levels rise and rise and rise. United doing their level best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's really important as well is that you give your, not just defenders as in your back five, but your whole defensive unit a break as well by getting further to the pitch. I know, and I'm sure Aoife knows, that when you've been relentless, under the cosh, and it's relentless, it's a time game, you're just hoping for that, distance up the pitch where you can just breathe for a second, collect your thoughts. But I think, and I said it at the start of half-time, they've still got the players on the pitch, Rolfo, obviously Mallard, now Narsland's on, who can make those breaking lines. They've got the players on there to be creative and a goal threat. So, like you say, Liam, just to remind Atletico that they've got that in the locker is really important.
Thank you for the thumbs up in the chat for Fallon Tullis-Joyce. We have noted all of them, the many, many thumbs up that we've got. Thank you very much indeed. Make sure you are subscribed if you want to get involved in the chat. We are still taking questions. If you've got anything that you would like to know, any inside knowledge that you would like, as much as we can give you, then absolutely ask those questions. Aoife and Lindsay Johnson, both here to help answer those questions. I'm not very good, so I direct the questions to them. They know what they're talking about. I'm here just basically to tell you to subscribe and press the thumbs up. Meanwhile, here, Atletico Madrid just trying to work it back in the opposite direction, but so good. And then, yeah, absolutely right. Oh no, that's gone against Anna Sandberg. I thought the assistant referee was going to flag for the handball there. There's no foul. Player goes down, the Atletico player. Looks like she's handled the ball. Oh, it's so soft. And it's a clear handball too. How that hasn't gone United's way is beyond me. Aoife, what did you make of it?
I mean, the lino was waving a flag above her head so vigorously. I thought she was making a point that Luani had fallen on the ball and basically handballed it on purpose and given a free out. But you get told as wingers, I think, sometimes if you don't really know where to go and you're getting a lot of pressure and a bit of a push, just fall on the ball, and it really gives the referee a decision to make. And 9 times out of 10, they will give you a free kick. I very rarely see it go the other way, as like you've just fallen on the ball. You know, you shouldn't have done that. But this is a really dangerous area for Atletico to have a free kick.
It's put in towards the back post, heads come in, but it's up and over the top. It's Lauren that's got there, but can't direct the header goalward, so it's wide and behind. Edmund says, I believe Manchester United women are the ones to push Chelsea women all the way this season. I think you're absolutely right. Moses says, for sure, we're winning this game. I will take that confidence, Moses, all day, every day. We've got this, says DJ Darkest Night. Another one, another win, and we're second in this group. That would be amazing. I couldn't agree with you more. The league phase at the moment really open and available for Manchester United to push themselves up that league phase. Juan Man says, how lucky are we to have such a great goalkeeper? Doreen says, Valentillis Joyce is our superwoman. I agree. Franklin Moore says United need one more goal. If United could pinch a goal here, that would definitely set them up for a very, very interesting finish. And maybe we will get that from the powerful running Leah Galton, who enters the fray. Brilliant to have her back. She's missed the beginning part of this season. Aoife, tell us a little bit about Leah Galton and what she offers this Manchester United side.
I mean, anyone that's watching this and listening to us talk will already know how good Leah is. She is an out-and-out winger. Talk about someone who can get the ball at their feet, push it forward and break past a fullback. You know, she's the first name that comes to mind. Defending against her in training over the past 4 years has been so difficult. The timing of her runs to get into the box is so good. And even just watching her come on here, instant impact. She harries the Atletico Madrid midfield and really, a foul gets given against her, but it just shows her physicality. And we said earlier that she created an assist at the weekend. I think it was an assist of an assist, but through her physicality, winning the ball back, and I think that's a sign of things to come in this last 30 minutes of the game.
How is that a foul, by the way?
Again, all that's happened there is the Atletico Madrid player is lent into her, and Leah's done it, hasn't she? She's turned her, used her body, turned her really well, and the Atletico Madrid player has gone down.
But got a left arm wrapped all the way around the leg of Leah Galton as well, and somehow it's Leah Galton that's penalised, and then the referee has the, let's use the word temerity, shall we, to sort of wave Leah Galton away as she's trying to protest it. But Leah Galton's got every right to protest a decision like that is incredibly incorrect. Very, very frustrating for Manchester United. Important that they don't get as irate as me. I think it's important to say they've got to try and keep their heads about them, because you don't want to have to be playing the referee as well as, you know, a team that have got one more player than you on the field, Aoife.
No, and I think it's one of them where a few decisions go against you and you really can see red. It can be really frustrating. But you, as a player on the pitch, you're not in a privileged position to use that emotion in a way that isn't going to help the team. Us sat here tonight, that was so close. That was so close, wow.
That was was that Bo Arisia?
Yeah.
It was a great delivery, wasn't it? The vision to have that, but the run as well from the Atletico Madrid forward. Was it Gabriella?
Yeah, Gabby, their number 8.
So she's come in, but they're really good vision. It just hangs up for her, doesn't it? She's physical, she's tall, just gets him just on the back shoulder of Riviere.
We are going to have a change for Atletico Madrid. Jensen is going to make way, and it's going to be Sheila, which is the easy bit, and then the surname's it's a tough Spanish one with J's and R's in, but I think it's Cuillaro.
So it's not Sheila from Northwich then?
No, although I think we'd all prefer it to be Sheila. You might be a world-class footballer, I might have got this wrong, but on this occasion, if you were playing for Atletico, I would feel better. Look, it's just fresh legs, isn't it, for Atletico? They are currently trying to break down a Manchester United side that are well-drilled, resilient, great positional awareness, and are sat on a 1-goal lead despite being down to 10 players. And at the moment, I always find this quite tricky. Some will say, oh, you know, the best team is the most attacking team, or the best team lost. Actually, if you've defended brilliantly for 90 minutes, for me, that makes you the better team defensively, and therefore you should go on and win the game. And that's exactly what United are going to be trying to do for the closing 23, 25 minutes of the game, is sit in, make sure that they are hard to break down, and then try and catch Atletico on the counter.
Yeah, I mean, really the best team is the team that wins the game, and anything after that is just your own stylistic preference. If you like possession football, if you like a team to be really attacking, that's one thing, but ultimately it's what you can do to get your team over the line. And United are 1-0 up. I think football is at a level now in terms of like being such a professional self. These girls will be practicing scenarios in training. They will be told, going into a training session, right, for the next 10 minutes, you're going to practice chasing the game, you're 1-0 down, and the other team will be told, right, you're going to practice holding your win, you're 1-0 up. And there's a whole different psychology depending on whether you're defending a lead or whether you're chasing it. And it's something that has to be practiced. And for United, they're just going to be trying to take the sting out of the game, ride Atletico's momentum, frustrate them, conserve their energy, and then who knows, maybe go and nick one on a counter.
But, sorry, Liam, but just to back that up, for defenders, we kind of like that. We like to play in our areas, in our boxes, in organisation. We don't like it when things become chaotic and free-flowing. So we kind of come into our own a little bit when you have to really set your mind on banking up, sitting into your units and back four, really you really step up when you are a player down.
Right, let's just talk about this. In training, or in a game where there is a player approaching you on the blind side, what do you shout?
Man on.
Still shout? Is it still?
It's man on only because it's less syllables, so it's quicker to get out
I agree.
your mouth.
We're so careful, aren't we, when we're sat here broadcasting, where we're talking about down to 10 players, but actually, you know, if you need just 2 syllables, then you're definitely just going to take the WO off the beginning of it, and instead of woman on, it becomes man on. It's just interesting, isn't it, that football parlance goes across all of the different games. Right, must tell you about this. We have got a lovely Champions League match ball on set with us today. This is the official match ball. The reason that we've got it is as a reminder for me to tell you to go and get your tickets for the PSG game, which is going to be played here at Old Trafford. Women's games are so much fun to attend. We're looking to get as many people as we possibly can down to Old Trafford to support Mark Skinner and his side in the game against PSG in the Champions League. If you can go and get some tickets, bring the kids down. It will be a brilliant, brilliant night. Great atmosphere. You can get them now on the Manchester United website, ticketing section of that website. They are available for you right now. I'm going to put this ball because I have no right to be holding it, really. I'm not worthy. I'll put that back down there. Also, just a reminder, Aoife Mannion, Lindsay Johnson, we're taking you through this game. We're going to be doing one of these watch-alongs for every Manchester United Champions League game this season. We're really looking forward to doing that. really important bit of this is that we want you to be as involved as you possibly can be. We're looking to get somebody on to have a chat with us when we're doing this one next week. So if you want to get involved with that, hit subscribe and just put your name down in the chat. We will try and get back to you and see whether you can be the fan that we talk to over the course of the game for the next watch along. And we also need your questions. They keep us talking. Hang on a second. Atletico in the penalty area. Brilliant from Aoife Mannion to get that one cleared away. We want your questions. We want your talking points. We want you to get involved. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you've liked the video. Make sure you've clicked the bell and get involved in the chat would be absolutely brilliant. Like Akambi's done. If we can ride through this pressure to win this game with 10 women, it would only strengthen the mindset of these players. That's a point, isn't it? When you have won a game, maybe against the odds, where you've been down to 10 players, where you've had to do it backs against the wall, what's the feeling like in the dressing room afterwards? I mean, let's, both of you, we'll start with Jono. I
think it happened to us a couple of times when I played for Everton and England, and it brings you together that little bit more in the long-range effort there, but again, Tullis Joyce has it covered. But it brings you together, it builds your, like you say, confidence, particularly when you're playing against a team that you've never played before. You're playing in a new competition, and it just gives you momentum going forward. But you look at each other at the end of the game, and you're like, we put a shift in there, you put a shift in, you put a shift in, and it just builds that confidence, and it helps you, the psychology of the next game, knowing that you've got that in your locker. We've done this before, we can do it again. You know, if that situation occurs.
It's so important as a team as well to develop different ways of winning. So United at the weekend, they beat Everton 4-1, but what was interesting and unique to that game for United this season is it was the first time in the WSL that they'd went down 1-0. Of course, they did that to Bran, or that happened to them against Bran across 2 legs, but that's almost something in your back pocket then, the ability to come back when you've went a goal down. And this is another factor or another thing that United can put in their back pocket of, we can actually go down to 10 players and still get a result from the game. So there's massive kudos and credit on the line for United, and I really, really hope that they can get it over the line, because it will build that resilience and confidence even further.
Just seen Aoife Mannion come flying out the line, nick the ball away, run off up the field, then gets a pretty clumsy challenge, but keeps her feet as a shot comes in from the edge of the penalty area for Atletico, which is cleared away. And Leah Galton is the victim of a slide challenge. That one will be a free kick to United. And what I was saying is, Miyazawa stays on her feet and actually probably has every right to go down, doesn't go down, but doesn't get the free kick. And it becomes a frustration, doesn't it? Where you're trying to do the right thing by staying on your feet and continuing to play, but you've got to have a little bit of protection from the officials that are on the field.
Oof. Red card.
Oh, wow.
Second yellow.
There's the protection we were talking about.
Well, that's Alexia Fernandez, who was booked for the push on Fridolina Rolfer a little bit earlier on. Didn't see that coming. I've got to say, that sliding tackle on Leah Galton, she's not got any of the ball. She's definitely caught Leah Galton. Your second yellow card, and everything is now even. Now, here's the question. 2 questions for you. 1, is it a justified second yellow card? And 2, what do United do now?
It is I was thinking in the back of my mind, has the referee been thinking of a way, to pay it back to United because it wasn't a red? But for me, that's a yellow card. She goes in, swipes Leah Galton, nowhere near the ball, so it's a yellow. So definite yellow for me, right decision.
Yeah, massively. She flew in from so far away. Like, silly really, especially I didn't realise when I was watching it that she was actually on a yellow card already. So to make that decision to go from so far away and then not get the ball and completely take out Leah, of course it's a yellow card, which makes it a second red. I think game on now.
Yeah, well,
I think game on.
Penny for Mark Skinner's thoughts as we get him full screen here. I wonder whether he's now thinking, well, do we switch out of what we've been doing, which is soaking up pressure and trying to go on the counter-attack, and go back to what we're so good at, which is pressing high up the field and seeing now we can go player to player to see whether that works. Referee's got another decision to make here, because Leah Galton has had a collision with one of the Atletico players. I don't think there's too much in that either. We're taking another look at it here. I mean, there's nothing in that one either. Leah Galton is actually prevented from jumping because She's jumped into it, and they're very interesting. So, I mean, what do? That's the question. Do you go back to what they were doing in the first half, where you try and press high, turn the ball over, or do you continue with this mid-block that they've managed to put in the second half, Aoife?
I think it will naturally come out. There'll be a greater incentive for United to press because they'll naturally be close to the players. There's no longer a mismatch in the numbers. So each player will have a player that they're sort of that they're responsible for. It won't just be blocking up the space. So I think naturally the momentum will now shift, and you've got players like Leah Galton on the pitch who came on so physical and looking so bright and sharp. I think United will move out of this kind of mid-block, and they'll start to kind of keep the ball better, and it will shift and pivot in their direction.
They'll just gradually move higher up the pitch because they were really kind of playing in that low block. We can see here they've already picked the ball up in that central midfield area, and Mallard's got lots of space, which she didn't have before. She wasn't afforded that.
Nelson on the edge of the area is going to pull this back to Sandberg. Sandberg looking to set it up on the left foot, comes back out to Leah Galton, and then brilliant from Miyazawa just to dance away between a couple of tackles. It's really good. United could go back to the substitutes bench. Rachel Williams, Simia Wujo, Hannah Blundell, all still available to come off the bench for Manchester United. Now we're back to 10 players each. So let's see what Mark Skinner decides to do. Knowing the way that Mark works, he'll just want to give it 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, just to settle back down again before he makes any decisions about any potential tactical switches as we go through the second half. Lamar says, better team, more solid this season, and squad depth is crazy. Missing Millie in that back four, though. Certainly when you lose Dominique Janssen, she would have been the inch perfect replacement, and Millie's injury has obviously come at a really tricky time. Just gets back from the foot injury that you concede in the FA Cup final, and then all of a sudden you're working your way back into the team, and then you get injured again, and it's very, very frustrating for us. So get well soon, Millie. Hopefully we'll have you back inside this squad in the not too distant future. Ball is on the edge of the box here. It's with United, and all of a sudden we've gone from this backs against the wall to the game is being played at the other end of the field, and Manchester United are around the penalty area, and it's almost like Aoife Mannion predicted it, and Lindsay Johnson went, oh, they'll naturally get higher up the pitch, and bang, there it is. You can see it in full effect.
Oh. Ballard just had a shot there. She's as confused as I am. Offside. She hits it on the half volley, offside. But the way she hits it, a technique, just offside. But she just picks it up, doesn't she? We didn't really see the replay, and she hits it sweetly on the half volley, but straight at the defender.
Anthony says, can't keep defending, need to play out and keep the ball. This obviously came in before the second red card. Anthony, don't worry about it. They've listened to you. They've done exactly as you've said. If you'd like to get in touch, then you can do so by getting involved in the chat. Subscribe to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel. Get involved in the chat. We would love to hear from you. Make sure you click the like and the bell as well, so you know the next time that we go live. But Manchester United, with 11 minutes to go, are on course for their second win in the Champions League. I mean, if they were to get over the line here, is that better start than we were anticipating, that you were anticipating for this Champions League campaign? Back-to-back wins?
If you're asking me, if I'm looking at the first two games, I would have expected, even though it was an away game, I'd have expected the 3 points against Valerenga. This would be a game that would have been a tricky game. An away game to Atletico Madrid, although, they got hammered at the weekend, convincingly beaten by Barcelona, but that's Barcelona. But they're third in their La Liga Fem. But I think this might have been a tricky game. So I think if they can get this one over the line with only, 11 minutes of normal time left as well, you start thinking about game management, don't you, and seeing out that game. No better way than to get a second goal and get a 2-goal cushion. But yeah, I would expect them to come away with these 6 points, possibly, definitely 4, possibly 6.
United trying to get themselves back on the ball, still having to, they're still having to work hard to try and get themselves into good positions, but they've got the goal cushion, and that really helps out as we go through the closing stages of this game. I think excellent from Manchester United, and Mark Skinner, if they do get through this with a win, will be delighted at the start to this competition, as well as being delighted at the start to their WSL campaign. Jade Riviere just diving out of the line there, and is bypassed. Lovely sliding challenge comes in from Giulia Zighiotti, who's been brilliant in this second half at covering her back four.
Yeah, so good. She is kind of covering that space in between the fullback and the centre half, so she's making these tackles right on the byline. And when a six does that, when a defensive midfielder does that, when they do it too many times, they end up turning round to you as a defender, kind of giving you a look, so as to say, come on, that's meant to be your job. But I think the great thing about this team is everyone really mucks in, and you can see that on top of what she brings on the board, that's also an element that she gives to the team when they're defending.
Shot comes in and cleared away again. Going to hear from Susie, who we heard from in the first half, in just a sec. Let's wait and see what happens with this latest foray forward from Atletico. Stooping header is cleared away, and it's back up and over halfway, and Manchester United still defending resolutely. Susie, it has been, an endlessly entertaining game all over the place. Red cards and VAR checks and various bits and pieces. What have you made of the game as a whole so far?
Well, you know, I mustn't speak about the cards, I guess. I think we played incredibly. We're playing so well. We all know how well we can defend, and we're really showing it. It's absolutely fantastic.
I think you are allowed to speak about the cards if you want to. We all agree that the sending off for Dominique Janssen felt incredibly harsh.
Outrageous.
That's perfect. That's exactly the response. Clip that one up. Outrageous is absolutely the right thing. If I'd have said to you at the beginning of this Champions League campaign, before we'd even played any of the qualifying rounds, that United would get through to the league phase, and they, were 7.5 minutes away from winning their opening 2 league phase games, would you have laughed at me?
No, I think I believed in having seen them in the earlier games, having seen them in the qualifying, and obviously how we've started the WSL. I think we are a team that is good enough to beat a team that's been beaten 6-0 by Barcelona every day.
I love that. Just a little word on Fallon Tullis-Joyce. In fact, just hold on a second, because Melvin Mallard is clean through here up to the edge of the penalty area. Chops back brilliantly. Going to get a shot away. Curls it round the post. Doesn't quite nestle it in the bottom right-hand corner. You can see from the reaction from all of us here that could quite easily have been game, set and match for Manchester United. And it all comes from a rock-solid Leah Galton challenge. She gets to the edge of the penalty area onto her right foot. And you think just here, as she makes the strike with the right foot, that it's going to nestle in the bottom right-hand corner. Susie, that's as close as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Was she not listening? I said she was going to be the difference.
I think she's done a brilliant job in this.
She's just incredible. Love it. And I think we definitely can score again. But if we have to just defend all the way, I'm happy with that too.
I think you're absolutely right. Just a quick word on Fallon Tullis-Joyce, who at the beginning part of this sort of second half, where Atletico were on top, comes out with one brilliant save to her left-hand side, and then 30 seconds later, a double save to keep Atletico out again. Can you just tell us how she is viewed by the Manchester United fan base? I'm giving you the power to be the voice of the entire Manchester United fan base.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know she got Player of the Season from the Supporters Club last year, and she's just, gone better and better. She's gone from strength to strength this year, I think. You can see how well they all play together, and she seems like such an awesome human as well, which is great.
Everybody I speak to says exactly the same thing. Thank you very much, Susie. Lovely to talk to you from the official supporters club, waxing lyrical about Fallon Tullis-Joyce. And I'll tell you what Aoife said to me the other day as Atletico on the charge again. Cross comes in and is cleared away. And that is that being a professional footballer is the least interesting thing about Fallon Tullis-Joyce. And there you go. United on the front foot again, and Lisa Nalsand trying to move forward. Thank you very much, Susan. Thank you. I appreciate you. You've been brilliant to have along over the course of this watch along. If you would like to get involved, if you would like to be the fan that we speak to next week, you can stick your name in the chat below, and we will try and get back to you and line you up to be able to do that. Sambo pulls it back from Mallard, but Mallard closed down quickly, launches one behind. United are growing again into this final stages, aren't they, Aoife?
Yeah, they are. I mean, just in the time that Susie was talking, Malvina's had 2 really good chances. That first one, she'll be so disappointed. I think she knows herself. She did all the hard work.
Yeah.
All the hard work, brilliant dribble, cuts the ball across, and then all she needs to do is place it into the corner. Kind of just drags it off wide. Unfortunate for her. There's no one else that you'd want to take that shot at the moment. She is top of the WSL in terms of her goal scoring ability. Disappointing. And then a few minutes later, she gets another chance. And something tells me that there are more chances in this game yet for United, even though there's only a few minutes left in the game.
I'm not a centre forward, but what I thought Mallard was going to, just wanted to reiterate that, by the way, I'm not a centre forward, but when she made that space, Mallard past the defender, I think it was Lauren, she just had that touch out of her. I thought she maybe could have cut the ball across the keeper and went to the near post rather than, I think the angle was hard on that further post. But I think I understand where she's coming from, and she has the finesse and the flair to do that. So, you know, I think she was more within her rights to do that, but maybe in hindsight just could have cut back across.
The evergreen Rachel Williams replaces Melvin Mallard for Manchester United. Right, final little bit of interaction for you at the end of the game. We want to know who your player of the match has been. So in the chat, make sure that you tell us who you think should be player of the match. I'm going to ask the sofa in a minute what they think. I'm going to give them a little bit of time to think about that, but you just get involved. If you're not already subscribed, you can't get involved in the chat, so make sure you're subscribed before you try and do that. I think Gabby George deserves some kudos, came in to play centre back for a half and has not looked out of place. I think you're absolutely right, Nick. Thank you very much indeed. Elliot says if we keep it 1-0, we'll be the only team in the table to have not conceded after 2 games. A fantastic display of defence by our squad. Daz says he says this is going to be. I'm going to take your confidence, but the fan in me says I'm not allowed to say that just yet. A great result. The women's team should be proud of what they're achieving this season. Could our women and Mark do the treble? Why not? Why not? Let's have the confidence. Wouldn't that be an absolute turn up for the books? Yeah, it would, and it would be a brilliant turn up for the books as well. Less than 2 minutes of normal time to play here. United leading by a 1-0. Right, okay, come on, player of the match. Who should it be?
I've got two that are contenders, and I would definitely say Melvin Mallard. I think she's been a great outlet. Has had 3 really good opportunities, but probably for the person, the one who's kept them in the game is Fallon Tullis-Joyce, you know, in that first 20 minutes of the second half. So they're my 2 contenders, but I'd go with Tullis-Joyce.
Chance here for Madrid. That's a brilliant challenge from Leah Galton again. Just comes sliding in, takes the ball, takes the player, adds the kitchen sink for good measure. All things gone by Leah Galton. Absolutely brilliant stuff, and that's what you need, committed defending at this stage. Aoife, your player of the match?
I would agree with Jono. I think I'd go foul for obvious reasons. She's kept the team in the game. The 2 other players I was thinking of was one, Rolfer, first goal for United, and what a banger it was. And then also May Laetitia. She was in the right place at the right time on so many occasions. Some really good blocks, really good headers, kept the ball out of the net. But ultimately, I would probably agree with you, Jono, and go for foul.
But I think May is a really good shout, and I wanted to ask you a question, Aoife. Do you now get coached to defend inside your area with your arms behind your body?
There was a while where it was really in fashion about kind of really making sure that your arms are out of the way by putting them behind your body, but I think the handball rules have tweaked and changed over the years, so it's kind of gone back out of fashion. I have always defended I feel restricted with my hands behind my body, but Maya obviously does it. Some players do it. I personally think that the most important thing is really the intent to just get to the ball. I don't think that the handball rule is as strict as it has been previously, so you'd be really, really unlucky, but that's Maya's trademark, isn't it? When she gets out to block, she kind of turns to the side, almost like a cricket stop, like turns a trailing knee in, drops it to the ground, creates a block, and then hands behind the back. And it's really proved for her tonight because she's been so effective at stopping shots and just a great player. I think as defenders, and we can say this because we are defenders, we don't get the credit.
I agree.
Maya doesn't get the credit. Gabby doesn't get the credit, hasn't put a foot wrong tonight. So whenever I'm asked, I always love to just be biased to the ones at the back because I think the forwards, they get it all anyway, don't they?
I think you're right. YouTube, just so you know, fully behind Fallon Tullis-Joyce as player of the match. Overwhelmingly so in the chat, apparently. So, I would also just, maybe not a player of the match mention, but certainly a really positive mention for Giulia Zighiotti, who I think has really done that sort of defensive midfield role really quietly today. When she's been required to drop in, she's dropped in. When she's been required to cover, she has covered. And then, getting Manchester United on the front foot, she's managed to do that as well. So really well done. Luani has been yellow carded, and just a little bit of frustration creeping in as we enter stoppage time at the end of this one. Any more player of the match is Fallon. Tullis-Joyce should be player of the match. Fallon Tullis-Joyce player of the match. Josh says Fallon Tullis-Joyce. Greatness says Fallon Tullis-Joyce. Philip says Fallon. Tone Deaf says Fallon Tullis-Joyce. Tracy, David, Juan Man, Krishna. Yeah, I think overwhelmingly so. Fallon Tullis-Joyce. Right, we've got 2 minutes to play. Manchester United, 2 minutes of concentration away from making it back-to-back wins in the Champions League, and more importantly, that puts them into the top four. And in case you're not quite sure how this league phase works, if you can finish in the top four of the league phase table, you go straight through to the quarterfinals. That will be exactly where Manchester United want to be. If you finish between 5th and 8th, you go into the knockout phase, but you are seeded, so you get a better draw. And then if you finish 9th to 12th, you go into the knockout phase, but you are unseeded. So United currently in their best possible position.
And I think the stat that one of the viewers mentioned before about if it stays as it is, they would be the only team not to concede a goal. I think that's an unbelievable stat for all the teams that are in the Champions League. And I'm not surprised by this United.
It's not over yet, though. It's loose inside the penalty area. Fallon Tullis-Joyce diving at the feet of the on-rushing player. Brilliant from Fallon Tullis-Joyce, because that, they're the kind of challenges you've got to make as a goalkeeper, where you can easily get a boot to the face. You've got to be so brave to do that, diving at the feet of an attacker that's got a chance to run in behind Aoife. It's brilliant from her.
Yeah, it's proper emergency defending, and I was looking at her starting position, and she is actually quite deep when the ball gets played through, and she just puts her body on the line, runs straight forward, claims the ball, and it looks like the ref is going to VAR. I don't know what this is about. Maybe a penalty shout in the box.
No, we've got a yellow card for the Atletico gaffer. So, Victor Martin has gone in the referee's notebook as well. This after Dan Bale was put in the referee's notebook in the first half for Manchester United. So it's been a little bit testy down on that touchline. They've not been massively happy, but as we say, frustration's creeping in. We're into stoppage time after the stoppage time. So we're very close to W's in the chat here for Manchester United. That is it, full time, and it is W's in the chat, please, for Manchester United's second win of the Champions League campaign. They still yet to concede. They have been absolutely brilliant. They've got the job done with their backs against the wall. That is an excellent performance from this Manchester United side. A really professional performance too. Aoife, just a couple of thoughts.
Yeah, what an amazing result for the girls. Go down to 10 players in the first half and find themselves in a situation where they're defending resolutely for like 20, 30 minutes. Then one of the Atletico players gets sent off. It sort of changes the momentum, but ultimately on the day, I think the quality's shown. I think that United had the better players on the pitch. I'm so pleased that the girls have got this over the line. And they're doing brilliantly. They're off to a pitch-perfect start. 2 wins in 2 games. You can't ask for more.
Yeah, and it's the same result, isn't it? 1-0 win. But look at the difference in the game. We had 2 sending-off, we've had VAR. It's been such an entertaining, competitive game, but obviously the team has been so resilient, so defensively strong, but again looked really creative as well, or they looked threatening and dangerous in attack as well. And I think they should be really proud of the performance. I thought it was an excellent performance, and they're just so hard to break down. They don't look like they're going to concede, Manchester United, and if that's the case, you're always in a shout with winning the game.
High fives and handshakes from everybody, and it's well deserved. And I'm even more delighted for the fans that have made it over there as well. Absolutely brilliant. A couple of housekeeping messages for you before we go anywhere. If you haven't already, make sure that you click subscribe, click the bell as well, so you know when we go live with one of these watch-alongs next time. And this is here because we need you to go and get your tickets for the PSG game here at Old Trafford. Available for you on the Manchester United website. It'd be lovely to get as many people down here as we possibly can. Thank you very much to Lindsay Johnson and to Aoife Mannion. It is always a pleasure to sit here and watch football with them. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm very, very lucky. Thank you for watching. Absolutely brilliant to have you along. And here's a little special message for you to finish the programme.
Thank you for your support and for watching the Watch Along.